Just couldn't get it right. The next thing I knew, we'd gone completely empty inside. Whether it be lost, broken, or taken, nowhere could I find anything that wouldn't disappear. I don't know if it necessarily has anything to do with the relationship. It could just be life. I mean, that's what I'm saying is you're really invested in whether it's your career, whether it's academics, and you don't make any time for yourself or your partner to, you guys to do things together. I don't want to say empty inside is kind of becoming, well, whether it be lost, broken, or taken. So I guess, yeah, in a sense, it could be kind of, you're becoming kind of a broken person. You're not investing in yourself or your relationship at all. You're investing in this goal, which is very commendable, but you're not prioritizing your mindset. You're not prioritizing your health. And eventually it's going to wear out on you. And if you don't have any time or energy to invest in your partner, then of course you're going to be in a lot of instances like these two individuals where you guys are in a relationship, but you guys are like roommates. You guys don't have any time, energy, or desire to want to invest in each other, want to invest in yourselves or anything like that. So the incessant snooze alarms on sleepless nights, the two of us in perpetual silence on the stair landing, savoring the pain as I mutter it's nothing. The tune that I hum floats in the air as it dissipates. For me, an incessant snooze alarm on sleepless nights definitely represents somebody that has so much going on in their head. Somebody that has so many issues, so many things to think about. The more you think about stuff, the longer it takes for you to fall asleep. And in this instance, they just never do. Sleepless nights, they have so much going on. Whether it's that goal they're fixated on, whether it's the realization they have no time for their partner, whether it's they have no time for themselves, whether it's just their brokenness, their loss, they don't know what to do. We're just trying to survive in this world, and a lot of people really have a hard time ever getting ahead, so you're always wondering, you're always worrying about making it through the next month, In perpetual silence on the stair landing, savoring the pain as I mutter it's nothing. This is definitely similar to a lot of the time when you're asking how somebody's doing. We always say, oh, we're good, it's nothing, I'm good, so on and so forth. And a lot of instances, we're not. A lot of people that are, have a lot of pain, a lot of suffering, a lot of stuff on their mind, they keep it to themselves. So I think savoring the pain as I mutter it's nothing, I just think he has a lot of demons he's fighting. And of course, anytime somebody ever wonders if he's okay, he's always going to say it's nothing. He's always going to say, you never want to burden somebody else with your problems, because most people, I feel like it would make them feel even worse. In a group of 30, there's always one in the minority. That was always you, and me makes two. I have this really interesting interpretation of this. I don't know if this is going to make a lot of sense. Around the holidays, my mother is really big into like Christmas movies and stuff like that. And when the name of the title has junk in it and talking about there's always a minority, 1 in 30, and how I guess they're kind of broken, they're the odd ones out. It makes me think of that Christmas movie where it talks about the island of misfit toys. It's like the toys that are like broken or defective, toys that don't meet standards in a sense, the toys that are kind of thrown away. It just makes me think of that. The people that are kind of, in this instance, they're the minority. They're kind of the odd ones out. They don't fit in. So it kind of makes me think of like that in a sense, where it's like two misfit toys that are kind of come together. They're all each misfits. They all don't fit in with everybody else. So they're the two odd ducks out, but they found each other. So they're two odd ducks together, which is two misfit toys together. I don't know, it's kind of a weird interpretation, but I don't know if you guys like watched a lot of Christmas movies. I have no idea. But the island of misfit toys, yeah, it makes me think of that. So even if you remained forever broken, never to come back, I wouldn't mind just as long as you live alongside me. We'll go in search of what we've lost someday, and if it's nowhere to be found, we'll smile as if we admit we couldn't find it anywhere. We're pieces of junk. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying, is how I kind of had the idea that they just kind of become distant to one another. Life, things just get in the way, responsibilities have just kind of broken them as individuals, and they probably just don't have a lot of time to really rekindle that love they had for each other initially. We'll go in search of what we've lost someday. And if it's nowhere to be found, we'll smile and admit we couldn't find it anywhere. We're pieces of junk. that love we had for each other, that fire, that flame that we had when we first got together, we'll try to reignite that flame, and we'll go searching for it, and we'll do what we can to try to rekindle it. But even if we don't, it seems like even if they don't rekindle it, they still love one another. It just might not be the same. It's interesting because it's like, even though I feel like there's still a lot of love for each other, and they might not know how to rekindle that flame and get the relationship to where it once was, but I feel like there's still that love for each other, that even if it's not as good, or it's a shadow of how good it used to be, that's still good enough for them. So I don't know. I feel like in a way it's still like it's kind of depressing in a sense, but I feel like maybe I'm trying to spin this in like it's still beautiful in a way, Are you ready? Okay. But let's keep walking through the endless night just a little longer. Pain, pain, fly away, fly away, fly away. Turn off the lights. I couldn't forgive any of it. I feel like it's just kind of like somebody that is kind of lost. Somebody that obviously has a lot of burdens they're carrying. And I mean, of course, they're both carrying burdens because they're both broken, lost people. So I think it's just them together, two broken people that are just walking with their burdens, but they're doing it together. So there's some solace into that. I don't know, there's some solace into having somebody with you that also shares that same struggle, just to kind of know somebody's there. It's hard to put into words. All these lyric breakdowns, like sometimes I really definitely struggle with this sometimes, so you guys will have to fill in those missing pieces that I struggle with a little bit. I couldn't forgive any of it, everyone and everything that had never acknowledged you, all of it. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't really get, is acknowledgement for what they do. Even if you forget all about me, never to remember. We'll meet for the first time again and fall in love. You are the moonlight bathing me in its glow. I won't let them mock you. We can take the long way home. Who cares if we get lost? That's why I said there's some like solace into this, is even though they can't bring the relationship back to the point it was, like there's still so much love there that even in this, maybe even if this lifetime, they never rekindle that, they'll meet in the next life, and then probably the life after that. They're gonna keep falling in love. They're meant for one another. They're soulmates. It's really, really beautiful in a lot of ways. Probably forever keep falling in love with one another. So I don't know. There's a lot of beauty in that. We can take the long way home. Who cares if we get lost? You love somebody, and this person is the person you want to spend your life with, your soulmate, somebody that you think you're destined to forever be with. Who cares where we go? As long as this person's by your side, that's all you need. Yeah, this is a really beautiful song, and it's kind of worded in a way where it's like kind of difficult for me to really convey my exact interpretation. Ultimately, it seems like two broken individuals, people that are kind of like misfit toys, where they don't fit in with those around them. Two kind of odd ducks out found each other, who find solace in each other. He's her rock, she's his rock. They allow each other to keep on going forward, because that there's somebody there that's going through the same struggle that you're going through. It's similar a little bit to kind of how I feel about like Linkin Park, for example. Whatever struggle it is that you go through, with what they sing about, it helps you feel like there's somebody else there with you. That I feel like is very similar. And so yeah, they really keep each other grounded. They uplift one another. And even if they can't rekindle this relationship of theirs, as long as they live together, as long as they're together, they don't really care, because all that matters to them is I have you, you have me, and we're in this together. If in this lifetime, then the next. We'll do it all over again in the next lifetime. I don't know, seeing two broken people that are broken but always there for one another. Like, I'm not really an emotional person, but there is like this like subtle feeling of like emotions wanting to kind of come out right now. It's really interesting, because any song that like makes me feel like emotional, not a lot of songs do that. So for me, I'm sure this relates to me in some sense, on a not a surface level, but definitely a deeper level, where emotionally it's like affecting me. I don't know, it's it's really weird. Maybe there's a lot of self-reflecting I gotta do where I think of how this affects me and why it is like making me subtly emotional about it. So I think it's a great song. I hope you guys enjoy this song and this artist as well. Definitely let me know how you interpret it. I'm sure you guys can kind of convey the interpretation, the meaning in a much more elegant way than I did. It's always very rough, I feel like. Rough around the edges with how I word things, how I try to convey my point. But it's always my first time ever listening to it. It's always my first time ever seeing the lyrics, so it's hard to really put into words. I'm not a very elegant speaker, so you guys with the power of editing, it can make it seem like I can speak fluently, but trust me, I can't. Maybe the reason this affects me is because maybe this is kind of what I want. Maybe I want my own broken person that I can kind of lean on. Maybe that's why it affects me. I feel like I gotta do some self-reflecting on this song. Yeah, definitely let me know how this song affects you, and yeah. Let me know the next artist you want me to react to, and as always, I'll see you guys in the next video. Later.